So our last speaker is Alex Noble, creative director, fashion designer, and artist. He focuses on waste and exploitative production, and with his ethos of creative input for a positive output, launched the EMG Initiative, a creative design initiative pioneering inventive sustainability in the higher end of the creative cultural market. Here, he creates collections from waste materials, reassigning them to beautiful products to raise funds and awareness for causes such as children in the workforce, child abuse, women's rights, access to justice, and the fatal health and safety issues within production in factories. He's collaborated with Traid, Childhope, the Rainbow Collective, and Fashion Revolution, and is highly respected in the creative fashion industry. Tonight, he's going to incite us to all become activists in his presentation, harnessing the power of creatives to transform fashion's dark side. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Hi guys, how's my mic? Is that all right? Can you hear me? Cool. Okay, so fashion. With so many facets and areas to the fashion industry, it's a massive subject to discuss and tackle. But essentially, it has a light and a dark side, a positive and a negative, but which are very intertwined. My own journey into ethics and my exploration into the fashion industry led me to find that the bad heavily outweighed the good. The deeper you scratch the surface, the more extreme you see the problems. Exploitative production, human rights abuses, impacts on the environment, and the negative psychological effects through the propaganda of how products are sold to us. The list goes on and on. But when I look at what the good side of fashion is, I see two things: creativity and identity. Creativity in the beautiful, amazing creations, the clothing that we see coming out from our designers, and identity in the people, their personal style, the creative way they dress, and the way that we communicate through our clothing. In fact, the fashion industry has actually been built around these two things, creativity and identity. But even these elements have fallen foul to exploitation at the hands of the industry. Designers have to work for big brands that they don't feel comfortable with, that don't fit into their ethic standing. While style and trend forecasting is a process of specialists taking our personal ideas and selling them into big brands to mark up and sell back to us with a price tag attached. And those making the profit in the industry are rarely the creatives. We all know that creative flair and business acumen sadly don't always go hand in hand, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Creativity and identity are human traits, personal, independent, and individual. The creative approach is unexpected, inventive, and transcendental, which gives us the opportunity to reharness our creative power, our unique identities, style, and opinions, and the way we translate them to change the toxicity in fashion. We have the power as creatives, consumers, and clothing communicators to create a different version of the fashion industry, break the system, and revolutionize. And as creatives, challenge the system on how we sell, and as designers, challenge the system on how we sell, produce, and promote our wares. Cultivating an ethic that is compassionate, does not seek to profit from exploitation, and harming the less fortunate in the gains it makes, that does not pollute and damage our earth, our planet to which we are mentally and physically connected. What we need more of is communication and collaboration in industry across the globe. I started out in ethics very angry. I was so passionate about the abuse faced by the garment workers that I thought what we needed to do was just boycott the big brands and literally throw bricks through their windows. But I've learned that we need to infiltrate those corporations and governments and make the change from within, like a Trojan horse of fashion activistas. Alongside cultivating a new vision of the industry, which encourages, as we do, a move away from fast fashion, A return to small traders, tailors and makers being the go-to when we need new clothes, whether it be a work suit or a party dress. And we need to support each other through the shift. So PRs need to champion an ethical brand that maybe can't afford representation. Consumers challenge the big brands and support the green ones that so essentially need your support. Designers strive for human and planetary ethics, recycle, reuse, slow down the production of new materials until we've worked through the landfill, creatively problem solving as we go. Teachers and students make sustainability a priority, not just a project. We need sustainability to be at the top of the list with fashion students to prepare them in this vital creative time for making the change in the jobs that they're going to go into. So it's ingrained in their process. We must think of workers as people and not statistics, and measure profits and success against the quality of life we've enabled through our production. Worth means more than just cost, and success is more than just profit. We need a global community of empathic designers and consumers with compassion and fashion always to be uttered in the same breath. But don't get me wrong, it's challenging and it's not easy. Fashion is notorious. You have to work so hard to make little money, but we must sustain this vital positive progress. We must endeavour and continue the amazing work that has been started by our pioneers, our new faces, our activists and our supporters, and continue to grow the good fashion team, because maybe the creative struggle might just save the world. Thank you.